Canada. I live here, and also went on a trip to there. I mean, the title and thumbnail of the video are kind of self-explanatory, but for further context, I live in British Columbia, which, as you'll find out later on, greatly impacted my perspective on the trip. I don't normally do story time or vlogging content, but this was a fun, casual trip with me and my dad, and I feel I could share some cool stories with you. So the trip started with us arriving at the airport, and this was a long time of waiting. We went in fairly late at night, so we were waiting there until 1 a.m. until we could actually start flying. While walking around the small plaza they had, we went to a Starbucks as it was the only place selling food that was still open. I was starving. And after we ordered, the toaster wasn't working, so they asked if we wanted our money back. I just asked if I could have some banana bread instead, and she gave us 2 slices of banana bread and some weird-ass cinnamon thing, as well as the untoasted item we asked for. We came in wanting 1 item and got 4. I'm assuming why she gave us all the extra stuff was because they were gonna close soon anyways, but it still helped. We also got some Pringles on the flight, but I didn't eat it until later. As I said earlier, we still had a long ways of waiting. After 3 hours of waiting, we were finally getting onto the plane, and bravo me, even more hours of waiting. This time, it was on the flight. After that, we were finally off. I had a hard time sleeping during the entire thing, but I tried my best to sleep during it. None of it worked. I managed to rest for a while, but I never fell asleep. So now that we're finally here, this marks when I can start randomly recording things for stuff I can potentially use in the video. After a difficult time trying to get a bus card, we started waiting for the bus to arrive, and wait, we did. Now being in Montreal, something became very apparent. The language. You see, where I live in Canada, BC, everything is in English first and has a French translation under it. Though lots of things like restaurant menus, street signs, and other things are strictly in English, lacking a French translation. But in Montreal, and I suppose Quebec in general, these are swapped. So already there was a bit of a language barrier for signs. The ratio of French to English, both spoken and in text, varies. Some places are more English and others are more French. But where we were staying, aside from 2 specific encounters, most people we came across spoke both languages, so we didn't need to worry too much. And honestly, trying to read signs and pronounce it correctly was a pretty fun challenge. We arrived at our hotel, which unfortunately I didn't get any footage of because I was too shy to ask if they'd let me to record in there. Yeah, sorry, I only really recorded in public areas and popular stores, where we just sort of chilled for a while before leaving to go out to get something quick to eat. And that quick thing to eat ended up being A&W. After that, we went back to the hotel, slept for a good 2 hours, but left immediately after. I find it interesting that, like downtown here, they're actually making the McDonald's, look somewhat interesting, You got the brand recognition. People know what they're gonna get from there. They can just buy them, but no, they actually make them look good. Yeah, impressive. Hell, we even saw a Hooters, which I didn't know we had those in Canada. I didn't go in, obviously, but it was cool. And eventually, we came across Christ Church Cathedral, which, more importantly, had a mall under it. Yeah, okay, so, a church, and then, a very large mall, apparently, underground. So, yeah, I'm excited to go in. I don't know. The Lord will watch me sin today, I guess. I'm pretty sure the mall is connected to a bunch of other malls, all combining to this massive behemoth of a mall. Seriously, you can go in one end and be completely lost when you exit. It's crazy. We went to an EB Games, or I guess GameStop since they're rebranded to that. That name is still fucking stupid, but I digress. Found a cool game called Monster Crown. I'll have to look more info on that later. And how the fuck did Crazy Chicken Shooter Edition get a physical release on PS5? How is the chicken murder genre still thriving in 2022? Who the fuck keeps buying these? As in, buying them enough to warrant... You know what, never mind. Anyways, we went to Eaton Center, and to my pleasant surprise, they had an arcade. And also, plenty of restaurants. They have a very unique way of doing things. Basically, once your order is done, they'll give you these squares that will flash and vibrate when your order is done. It's pretty cool, especially since I got the funny number 34 on mine. Anyways, we had burgers first, and I got a Diet Coke as well, and I noticed that the soda cans here have golden tops. It looks cool, but I'm not sure why they do this. If anyone knows, please tell me in the comments. I'm very curious. And by the way, I'm going to mention that we went to several restaurants in the Eaton Center, and their food is amazing. Definitely try it if you ever get the chance. But they also had an arcade there. They had 4 pinball machines, Mario Kart Arcade, one of those hockey things, and a pretty cool Pong machine, to be honest. But all of that pales in comparison to what I argue to be the main attraction. A single arcade machine that is a collection of several classic Namco titles. So obviously, I had to play Pac-Mania and set the high score. They adjusted the default settings on all these games, so you now have 5 lives instead of the usual 3. This version actually has less stages, so I was able to try the beach level. The beach level sucks, I don't recommend it, but I still had a good time. Due to less stages, the game has a much sharper difficulty curve, and honestly, I prefer it to whatever version is in the museum collection because of it. I played the other games on here, so I'll fill you in with that in due time. But that's in the future days.
Oh. Of course, Sue leads to the last life, man. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Day 2 started. We got our we got our bottled water. Yeah, and we're heading to Tim's for the second day in a row.
We headed to Tim's again, and nothing of note happened this time, so I think we'll skip that. Afterwards, we headed to Mount Royal for a small hiking trip.
Okay, so the reason why we brought the water bottles, I'm not sure if I mentioned this in the last recording. As you can see, we've already gone through it a decent amount. It was specifically for going on a hiking trip. Relatively small hiking trip. You know, the mountain isn't that big, but a hiking trip nonetheless.
Gotta say, it was a nice view, surprisingly, since the walk wasn't that long, and of course, the nature was amazing. We headed higher up the mountain to take pictures of a cross, but we soon headed back to get food and shaving cream. They didn't have any good shaving cream, so I'm stuck with mutton chops for the duration of the trip. They also sold alcohol in the grocery store, which was interesting. I guess laws are different here. Also, I guess Chex is bigger here since they had 4 flavors. Neat. We went back to the hotel very briefly and went out again to the mall. Yeah, expect that to happen a lot. We went to go eat a chicken sandwich from Eaton Center again. And of course, played some more arcade games, including playing Mappy for the first time. It took me a while to understand what was happening, but after you get the hang of it, it's surprisingly fun and challenging. Oh, and also played Dig Dug, and I gotta say, it's also very fun. I kept dying in it because I wanted to use the boulders. Both of these games I really want to stream sometime, so if you guys would be into that, be sure to tell me. Maybe if you guys are into that is a poor choice of words, but you get what I mean. We went to a hobby toy store and sort of just browsed. They had some Cards Against Humanity cards up on display. I didn't know they were themed versions of the game. Besides that, Pac-Man Monopoly. Not sure how that would work, but I would bet I would kill at it. And Bakugan. I don't know why I took a picture of this, but the artwork on these is fucking cool. Do they have any Bakugan games I could play on stream? Anyways, after that we headed to another arcade, which I can't remember the name of. They're pretty cool. This is the 3rd time I've seen Crossy Road at an arcade, and yet I've never encountered Frogger in an arcade. Genuinely, the irony in that is phenomenal. They also had a Centipede game, which was pretty cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this. We also went to our hotel's gym. increasing the total amount of times I've been to the gym to 2. Day 3, and it's the 3rd day in a row going to Tim's. I swear it isn't like this bad home, but yeah, it's
Convenient.
Yes, it's very convenient. I guess to inform everyone what we're doing today.
We're going to Old Town Montreal.
Yes, we're going to go to a what do they call it here? Couche-tard, which is like their version of Circle K, which used to be Mags, and I only knew that it was the same thing because of the logo. I guess more on that later. After heading to Tim's for the 3rd day in a row, I know, and as my dad just told you, we took a somewhat lengthy walk to Old Montreal. Walking around was a fun time.
Man, I knew Luke Skywalker's persona was always a deer.
Eventually, while walking around Old Montreal, we discovered a place called... I'm not fucking pronouncing that. Took this picture while we were going about there. This image is both funny as hell and aesthetic as fuck in my opinion. So we walk into
the old city, wander around a bit, see if we see something interesting.
Yeah.
And we'll eventually just wander back, right?
Yeah. Okay, so we're still in the old city.
Yeah, we're just so like there's the old port, and then the old city is there. Maybe we're a little bit. You know what we should do is go and check out Chinatown, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go back that way.
We headed to Chinatown, forgot to record any footage of it, sorry. And now we finally went to what I wanted to go to since I first encountered it at the beginning of the trip. Couche-tard. I tried their Sour Patch Kids slushie, it's mid. Yeah, not much happened this day, but I still had fun. Went to the mall again and ate pizza. Yeah, after that, the only real noteworthy thing we did was explore the mall for a bit. So I'll just roll the footage and then start the next day. Oh, okay, sure, yeah. Yeah, like you see these people like getting ready to race. You see those people over there performing some sort of ritual, I guess. You know, gambling over there maybe. Yeah, it's nice.
It's getting built here.
Yeah. So we wake up for our final full day, and we didn't go to Tim's this time. Instead, we went to a local bagel shop. No footage of it, sorry. It's kinda mid though, so you aren't missing much. So since the other days had us doing semi-specific things, today we went game hunting, looking for a used game store to get some, well, used games from. Even going in a Subway to get one of these. The first used game store was really good, but all their games were stuff I sort of wanted to stream, but nothing that really blew me away. Anyways, after that, we took a Subway back and went to a used game store closer to where we were staying. I got a copy of Rayman Legends there, cool stuff, I'm probably gonna stream the game soon. The second used game store we went to had a game called Boulder Dash EX. I was only interested because it was a game I've never heard of with a furry mascot. I didn't get this game, I mean clearly it's $42, but I don't know, I thought it was neat. After that, we headed back to the mall to get some Pokeball. Pretty good stuff. Oh yeah, we played at the arcade one last time. My dad and I played Galaxian. There's no footage of me playing Galaxian, so here's footage of my dad playing it. I also played a game called Dragon Spirit, because dragons are cool, and it seems to be some sort of bullet hell game. The game was kind of annoying at first, but I can tell it would be a blast if you got good at it. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention this yesterday, but I beat my high score in Pac-Mania yesterday. Oh yeah, we went to the gym again, on to the next day. We headed to Tim's yet again for the last time, and then we started walking around. And I went to record some footage of the Skylander vehicle Hot Streak, just because I wanted to get some cool photography of it, or I guess videography, whatever. Walked back to the mall and didn't eat anything this time, but we went to a clothing store. Nothing really special happened, although this was the day where I started writing for the video. And concluding the trip is this picture I took of a Tim Hortons caramel iced cappuccino. Huh. Best way to end it. By the way, I keep forgetting about this, but whenever I go to Tim's, did you know that they sell juice? I should make a tier list video on their juices, to be honest. Especially because there isn't much documentation on them online. To be honest, there's a lot of stuff I want to make ranking videos on. Anyways, once we got on the flight, the trip basically ended. So I guess I'll have some reflection. As I said in the beginning of this was a very casual trip, and honestly, some of the most fun I've had was just walking around. And obviously playing the arcade games. I'm not sure if I'll ever make videos like this in the future, but be sure to tell me if you enjoyed this. Anyways, let's go on to the final information about the trip. So in terms of things we got, call them souvenirs if you'd like, but they weren't very specific to the trip. Crying emoji hacky sack, or stress ball, I don't fucking know what this is. Yeah, I didn't buy this, I just got it as a freebie, you know, like from the spare tickets I got from playing at that second arcade, you know, the one with the Centipede game. Rayman Legends, as stated previously, and a shirt. I was going to get a Pac-Man shirt from there, but I thought this one looked better. Sorry if that disappoints anyone. So that's the end of the trip. If you are new to the channel, then I should say, again, there won't be much content similar to this on the channel. I mainly do video game and art live streams, such as Skylanders and endlessly milking Pac-Man for views. So if you're into that, check out the rest of the content, I suppose. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching this. Love you guys.